Islam is growing today in an attempt to foster more understanding and acceptance between Muslims and Christians around the world. For the very first time, Washington's National Cathedral hosting a Muslim prayer service. Griff Jenkins reports.
We can pray together, we can find common ground together, and we can work together towards a better world and not just focus on our differences.
This is the National Cathedral, America's national house of prayer. And today, for the first time in history, Muslim worshipers leading prayer at the cathedral.
This has a symbolic meaning for the political and civic imagination of America.
Harris Tareen is the National Director of the Muslim Public Affairs Council.
Let me explain the call for the prayer. The call for the prayer, it is being done in Arabic, and I would like to thank the Dean and Reverend Jean for inviting us today in this place, beautiful place of worship.
History was made today at Washington National Cathedral, but not without some controversy. That's because the historic moment was a Muslim prayer in the Christian cathedral. Suzanne Kennedy is live there tonight with what spurred the Episcopal place of worship to open its doors to another religion. Suzanne.
Gordon, normally on a Friday, Muslim prayer services will be held around the corner here on Massachusetts Avenue at a mosque and at other mosques throughout the metropolitan area. But today those services were held here, and they made history. The call to prayer came at high noon in the north transept of Washington's National Cathedral. Nearly 200 people gathered for a historic Friday prayer session at the nation's house of worship.
It feels good. It feels welcoming. It feels inclusive.
The idea of this service came during last year's memorial for Nelson Mandela.
Welcome to Washington National Cathedral.
Reverend Gina Campbell, along with the South African ambassador, created and planned the event.
It's been a willingness to be humble. It's been a willingness to have your heart stretched. It's been a willingness to be made deeper and just hold open a space for God to do God's work.
Muslims from across the country came to the 2-hour prayer session, which was briefly interrupted by a protester.
Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior.
Participants prayed on carpets facing Mecca in an area free of Christian religious icons. The service was meant for America's 3 million Muslims to feel more comfortable in a predominantly Christian society.
This event of solidarity, it's just beautiful to be a part of. I see it as communication, as a sign, as a message from God himself for the world.
If we continue to do this, it really can have an impact across America in the way that we interact with our neighbors and just our communities.
It's uncertain whether another prayer service of this type will be held here at the National Cathedral, but as the Reverend who organized it told me, we will pray about our prayer and see where it leads us. Reporting live in Northwest Washington, Suzanne Kennedy, ABC 7 News.
Thank you so much.
Allah.
The call to prayer made it sound, and at times it even looked like a mosque, in the north transept where the service was held. Under the National Cathedral's Gothic arches, Reverend Gina Campbell welcomed worshipers by saying the shrine was
chartered by Congress to be a national cathedral, a house of prayer for all people.
Organizers chose this space so that worshipers could face east towards Mecca without seeing the cathedral's crosses and other Christian icons. In his khutbah or sermon, South African Ambassador Ebrahim Rasool said tolerance works both ways.
That which we desire for ourselves by way of freedom of belief, freedom of worship, and freedom of conscience in the United States of America, we must desire for Christians and those of other faiths in the heartlands of Islam.
Rasool said he hopes someday non-Muslims will be able to pray in the world's greatest mosques.
Allahu Akbar.
I think that we must return to the Muslim prophetic tradition in which the Prophet, may peace be upon him, invited Christians into his own mosque that he established in Medina, and to say to them, you can pray here.
Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior.
Except for that one disruption.
Sami Allah
these Muslims were able to perform their prayers in peace. Jerome Sokolovsky, VOA News, Washington.